we were very glad. And there's a reason why I come today with such pride, because this was one of the, let's say, one of my benchmarks that I wanted for my students, entrepreneurship. Being that I was an entrepreneur for 17 years in the States, but pretty much had the bug as a child. I wanted to carry this on, make sure that our students could empower themselves, because there's nothing quite like working for yourself. Actually, there is, and that's teaching, because they're equal highs.
Absolutely.
So with that, I will hand over the webinar to Nixon, sir, and I am so appreciative of your time, the three of you, and when Gilton joins us, because I know that you guys are busy, orders are streaming in, and you've still taken the time. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nixon, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. A very warm good afternoon to each one of you for coming down for this particular webinar. Okay, now like ma'am said about these people who we are going to be talking about, they are the ones who have taken some different steps. Instead of going down the route of working, they themselves have started their own ventures. We have had so many webinars, and it's a great learning experience for each and every one of us who are seeing these webinars. There are a lot of things that we learn. But one of the greatest joys that I personally get is when I see our own kids, growing up and reaching a level where now they have become inspiration for the others to follow. There's nothing more satisfying than that for a teacher to see that their own students have reached those zeniths. So it's with this that I would like to welcome the four people who are going to be there with this seminar. Unfortunately, one of them is still not able to join because of some technical issues. So as soon as he comes in, we'll take Gilton in. But let me start off with Miss Vivian. Okay, now Vivian, you can smile a bit, right? She's always this serious, even when she was in college. Okay, now Vivian, Vivian Nunes, do not go by the way she looks. Okay, she is a tough cookie. Okay, and she can deliver things right till the very end, and that is what has helped her in her current venture also. Vivian passed out from our college in 2018, okay, just 2 years back, and started off a career with the Pizza Express, okay, which is predominantly a pizza chain, where she started off working as a pizzaiolo, which basically takes care of all the pizza work. And not only are we just making the pizza, she's also instrumental in learning as to how the entire operation works. And that's the beauty of working in a fast food, where you get to learn each and every aspect of how a restaurant is run. And this is what actually helps when you guys go on to open your own restaurant, because you know exactly what are the things that the other departments also need to be looked at, and you need to work on it. And I'm sure Gladstone and Ray and Vivian will agree that all their previous experience of working has made them better entrepreneurs, because now they understand what the other departments also do and how important it is to run a business. Once we are through with the Pizza Express, Vivian went on to join a restaurant called La Loca Mario, which was a Spanish cuisine restaurant. So she trained under a actual Spanish chef. Okay, now, many a times we do work for various different restaurants where you have got the chefs predominantly from India teaching us. But when you go down to look at the actual people, I used to remember when I was working with Leela, and we used to have the Chinese restaurant in our hotel, and we used to have a Chinese chef. And the impact that he brings in, the culture that he brings in, the knowledge that he brings in, was something not our Indian guys could actually come up with. Technically, because he was from there, so he understood that cuisine well. So same way, Vivian also learned under a Spanish chef, so I'm sure she learned quite a lot than what the general thing would have been. After finishing with that, currently Vivian works for FCN Travels Solutions in the products team. Okay. In the meanwhile, her parents actually started off with a venture. And during this lockdown, both Vivian and her sister decided to join hands with the parents and to take the parents' business to a new level. Incorporating all the new technology that has come in. And I will be talking about this new technology as to how important it is in this current age and time when we are so restricted, we cannot go out, we cannot do anything. We want the products to come home. We want to get fast results. We ought to know what is trending, etc. And that's where the new technology comes in. And Vivian has actually helped her parents in taking their particular business to a new level. So, welcome very much, Vivian, and we will talk in great depth as we move forward into the webinar.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
welcome. Next in line, we have got Gladstone. Okay, now what do I tell about Gladstone? Like ma'am has already said, he is from the second batch, which technically was the first major batch from our college. Okay, I'm sure Gladstone, if he remembers his college days and if he comes down to the college now, he'll see that there is a veil of a difference in what the college used to be to what it is right now. I've heard many of old students coming and complaining and saying, sir, during our time, this was not like this. Now the college has become so beautiful, right? But saying that, they also had their own challenges. And these were the batches that enjoyed the most because they were new to this. We were new to this. And it was a fantastic experience those days. Okay, to a large extent, right now, we have got plenty of things that are put in place. But those are the days where many a times we used to be doing firefighting, dousing out one fire after the other. And Gladstone has been there to those times. You look at the spectrum that he has done during his year to the current spectrums that we do. But coming back to Gladstone, he finished off in 2012, and immediately he went down to Switzerland to do his master's in business administration from the Business Hotel Management School. Now, it's a wonder that he has come back to India. So most of the students who go out to study generally don't tend to come back. They tend to stay down there and to build up either work there or to start their enterprise somewhere there. But here is Gladstone, who actually came back to India. Okay, after coming down to India, he started his restaurant. Started his career as a restaurant manager with a prestigious restaurant called the Captain's Table. Okay, he worked there for 3 years, understood all the dynamics of what it is that is required to actually run a restaurant. Get to know the nitty-gritties of in and out of what the restaurant business is all about. Okay. Once he got all that required ammunition, then he started off on his first venture. In 2017, he started off with his first restaurant, which is called as a Fusion Feast in Mumbai. Now, why fusion? Because it was a fusion of Chinese, Thai, and hang on a sec, Tibetan cuisine. Okay, now it's not very often that you see Tibetan cuisine being offered. Okay, now that's the USP that he started off with. Come out with something that is totally different, and he experienced a lot of success with this. 2 years later, he started off with another venture of his, started off with the cloud kitchen concept, and his restaurant was called as Fusion Feast, which was again taking care of the Chinese, Thai, and sizzlers. I'm extremely sorry. It was called the Shaolin Express, right? So it was taking care of the Chinese, Thai, and the sizzlers. Now, during the pandemic, everyone says that things are down. But yet, we have this entrepreneur who decides that now is the time to actually make some good money. Now is the time to get into a business. Now is the time to adapt to the current situation and to work it to our advantage. Just last month, he started off on his third venture, which is part of his cloud kitchen itself. He started off a new division called Pizzeria 59, and which according to him is doing extremely well. People love to have pizzas. People want the pizzas delivered at home. Okay, and Gladstone is more than happy to provided to each one of them and their residents. Okay, so he also had another venture which was in the pipeline. It was a pub, and he wanted to open in the BKC, one of the most prestigious places in Mumbai, which currently he has just pushed it on a back burner to let this pandemic get over. But I'm sure as soon as we get the green signal, he's going to go on to his particular new pub venture. So welcome, Gladstone. It's an amazing thing to see how you have traveled the distance. Okay. And I'm wishing you all the very best for your future. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Next. Last but not the least, currently, because Gilton still hasn't come in, right? It's Ray. Now, where do I start off with Ray? Most of you have actually seen Ray in action in a previous webinar also. Okay. Now, there's a guy who loves to explore a whole lot of things. So he decides he goes down to New Zealand, okay, in the Kiwi country. He goes and he studies automobile engineering. Okay, I love automobiles. Let me do automobile engineering. Finishes off with that and then suddenly thinks, oh, I would like to know a bit more about liquors. So he joins into a supermarket, which is called as the New World Supermarket, as a liquor assistant, so that he can just explore the entire world of liquors. Having decided to come back to India, he comes back, and being from the automobile field itself, he got into the Volkswagen Mumbai downtown branch and became the customer service advisor. Now, mind you, he's an expert when it comes down to the cars and all. And he was meeting exactly. Now, we know that the Germans are very strict when it comes down to their products. So the same thing goes out with the staff also. So they need staff who are highly professional and who know the job. So they will not take any Tom, Dick, and Harry for that particular thing. So there he was, Ray, fitted into the bill perfectly, offering the various different models of Volkswagen to the potential customers. But hang on a sec, he did not stop there. He said like, I need to do something more. What better place? I want to do something in hospitality. And which better place to join? So he came and he joined with the Don Bosco. Okay. And he passed out in 2013. I would say that it was a delight when he was there in the college. Okay. More so because, I'm sorry, Ray, but I will just tell the kids that his other colleagues in his class were much, much younger to Ray. But never did we feel that Ray was an outsider, or neither did he feel. He was exactly like all those other guys, full of fun, full of frolic, full of energy at all given times. So it was fantastic working with him. Yet he had that tremendous sense of maturity that comes with time and his experience that also he put to use. And we have seen him perform excellently in all our various ventures that we had. Okay. As soon as he finished off with the college, he went on to join the Sofitel Hotel, and he was one of the pride of the Sofitel Hotel till the time some issues happen in life, which Ray himself will explain as the webinar goes in. Okay. Currently, now Ray decided, okay, enough of the hotels, enough of my life. I want to start something new. And he goes on to start his own kitchen, starting off from his home. Okay. And he's offering East Indian delicacies. Again, he has chosen a particular cuisine which is popular yet does not have much exposure. So he's making the most out of it. But it's not just restricted only to East Indian food. We have got Chinese, Thai, Japanese, continental, and not forgetting the awesome desserts that he makes. So all in all, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being a part, and let's get the show cracking.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Ray. Okay, now the question to all three of you. Okay, let's start off with the lady first. Vivian, tell us a bit about your venture. What was that particular moment when you decided that, yes, I would like to be a part of this journey, and I want to take it somewhere else? What was the thought process that went behind when you actually became a part of this particular journey?
So my ventures actually started off by my parents, my mom and my dad. My venture's name is Lutz Fast Food, and recently we have taken it forward by giving it a sub-brand name called GNG East Indian Originals by Lutz Fast Food. So this fast food business was started around 10 years back. We started off with a small stall in Andhra Bazaar Road, and we used to sell out our delicacies from there. So in this pandemic, as we cannot like stand out and sell this stuff, so give it a new face and to give it more exposure, we decided to take the venture online, and we started off by marketing it through Facebook and through sending broadcasts to our contacts, and slowly incorporating Zomato and other food delivery services in our venture.
Fantastic, fantastic. So you're making the full use of the new technology, and we'll come back to this at a later stage as to how important you feel these technologies are when it comes down to your ventures. Gladstone, just tell us about your eureka moment and what you thought when you started your very first venture.
Also with a passion, sir. I have this great love for this hospital industry. When I started in Don Bosco, I trained under Susan ma'am.
Sorry. Yeah, continue.
Hello.
You can continue, Gladstone.
Yes, sir. And then I started this outlet in 2017 called Fusion Fest Cafe. I also registered this as my mother company. So we started with Chinese, Thai, a little bit of continental and Tibetan food. And
Can you tell us a bit more about the Tibetan food? Like, why Tibetan food?
We had a very good chef who launched this Tibetan menu for us. So we had shapai, we had tukka. We didn't want to incorporate the entire menu because it becomes very difficult to operate so many dishes, to send out so many dishes on time when your kitchen gets busy. And then Tibetan food has yak, milk, beef, and sheep's head. These are the premium delicacies, which is very difficult to procure.
Okay.
So then we had a tough time to procure stuff. And then finally we decided that, okay, we have certain glitches procuring the raw materials for the menu. So we stuck to tukka, which is a top selling soup. Then momos, which are doing very good. And a dessert.
Okay.
That's two. It's a cake. So we made a menu smaller, and then we focused more on the top selling items, Chinese and Thai.
Okay.
Yeah, because the clients here were really not open to having beef and sheep's head and stuff like that, blood sausage, which is again a very famous delicacy.
Right.
So then we start with the basics. What is our running item in our area? Our top selling products, and we focused more on that, and then we marketed ourselves as a Chinese outlet.
Okay.
Serving Thai cuisine also.
Okay.
And then we again started with Shaolin Express. And recently, as you said, we started with Pizza 59 because the demand for pizza you can eat anytime, lunch, dinner,
right. Very true.
as a snack. So I said, let's give it a shot. And then there's a lot of demand in the market because most of the places are shut.
Right.
Yeah. And this is the best way to get highlighted. So we came up with this offer 1+1. You buy one pizza of any size, you can have a pizza of people same time.
Fantastic.
So yeah, the sales have gone up drastically, and yeah, there is a buzz in the market. So as soon as we are working on more on menu, get more pizza. So now we start with 10 veg, 10 non-veg, with seafood and chicken.
Okay.
And let's see how things work because now the Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats is gone now. Tanto is a new thing that has come in the market, which is very good logistics company to deliver food.
Okay.
So yeah, we are getting that, and we have a few plans ahead. We might also launch Hungry American, which is American cuisine, by March next year. Yeah, so plans are lined up, but once this dull phase is gone, we have many more things coming up.
Fantastic. So great to hear. So there's a classic case where you say, make hay when the sun shines, and Gladstone is not leaving any time for that. Like, he makes sure that, yes, strike the rod when it's hot, to get the best results. Ray, tell us your way and your experience with your new venture.
Yeah, so when I was at home for almost 2 years and out of work, so I decided to let's try and give this a shot of
Okay.
some home cooking. So I said let's try it. So my parents were supportive, so they said let's go. We'll support you no matter what. So I started that in end of January,
Okay.
and it picked up a little bit. It was just home cooking. Since we are East Indians, we did the East Indian cuisine because
Okay.
mostly there's not many varieties of for East Indian in South Bombay. There's in
Okay.
Bandra and there'll be in Kalina and stuff, but in South Bombay there isn't for people. So
Okay.
I said, why don't we try that?
Hmm.
And obviously, I trained in the hotel with Asian cuisine, so that is my. I can do that with my eyes closed. So
Very nice. Very good.
so I
Superb.
said I'll try that, and then lockdown happened and COVID happened, but that was like a blessing in disguise because after that, say maybe 1 month I was not getting too many orders, but then after that it got really busy because I think everybody was fed up at home. They wanted to
Right.
order, and restaurants were not operating at that time. They were not
Right.
allowed to operate.
Right.
So with us, we could do that and help people ease their
Right.
troubles while cooking and working and cleaning because no maids were allowed as well in their houses. So that was all to my
Right.
advantage.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I know. People are so used to having all these in their lives, and suddenly when they start to see that we have to do it on our own,
Yeah.
it's quite challenging. And
True.
that's where people like Ray and all come as a savior, like, for most of the people. Great. Ray, I just heard that you said that for 2 years you did not do anything. What was that part?
Yeah, so what happened was I was working in Sofitel
Right.
for 3 years almost, and in June 2018, when I was on my way to work, one day someone pulled my mobile while I was traveling in the train, and I was not thinking, and I ran behind him. So he got down on the platform, and I did not. So I fell on the tracks, and the train hit me. So
Oh,
so I was in hospital for almost a month and getting a lot of pain. I've
okay.
had around almost 7 surgeries.
Oh, okay.
So, and I still get a lot of pain, but being at home and not doing anything, I even tried to go back to work. I did one day at the hotel, but being a hotel job, it's so demanding and there's nobody to help you around.
Right.
So, with that pain, I just had to give that up. Then
Okay.
was at home trying to think of other solutions of what I could do. Then I thought of this, my own home cooking. So I said, why don't we give that a try? And
Superb. Kudos. Now, this is exactly what is a great quality of people who just do not get bogged down. Now, adversities and mishaps or problems keep cropping up in everyone's lives.
yeah,
It's how we get out of this and come out stronger. And Ray is a prime example to show that yes, I has, or like there's a proverbial thing with Americans where they say shit happens, right? It has happened, but how do I get out of it? There are two ways of going about it. One is to just go down and keep cursing your luck and saying that shit, why is it happening to me? The other one is to say, okay, dust it off and say that to hell with it. Let me just start off new. And that's what Ray has done. And I'm so glad because this is the kind of thing that actually pushes you to check out on your potential. And then you see that there is such a lot of other doors which needs to be unlocked, which you can do just because you have the drive to do it. So fantastic, Ray. Now, Glaston, can you just tell us a bit about during your college days? What do you remember of our college days? I know it's way back, but what do you recollect of the college days? And how was it?
I enjoyed my college with Don Bosco. As you said, we were the second batch, 2009, I guess. Yeah, 9. Everything
Right,
was new. We were new to hotel industry. We didn't know anything. Just looking at the posters, cruise ships. Didn't know
right,
about the industry. Jumped in, and then Don Bosco really shaped us well to do well in our careers because when you're fresh to this industry, you don't know, you will have beard, you will have the side
Right.
locks, long
Right.
hair. But once you complete our first month of college, you'll really stand out from the crowd, look much
That
presentable.
everything
I
gets
think that
chopped off.
helps you a lot. Yeah, I think that helps you a long way in life. So even when you're going somewhere out,
Right.
your experience is everything.
Very true.
So till today, I
Absolutely.
take my hair clean shave every day. So that is
There we go.
like,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, these are the disciplines that actually hold on for life. I still remember the first time I actually shaved was when I joined my hospitality college way back in 87. But after that, till date, it's always been a clean shave, right? Because that is part of your morning routine now. So you don't have to even think twice about it. You need to look good. You need to be presentable at all given times because you need to show a professional front. Yes, there are certain places where you can let your hair down loose and you can do things that you want. But when you're running your own business, you need to portray a great image, or your business should be in such a way that it demands that kind of an attire where you can let your hair
absolutely.
down, like. So great to see that. Vivian, tell me about your college and tell me about some entrepreneurial exercises that we had done during our college days itself. This was for both you and for Ray. Well, what do you think? What were the things that we did when we were there in the college itself?
So from the college, like my experience from where I started and I joined, I was asked if I could actually be dedicated to the course first. So that was a question. Then I took up the challenge. I accepted the challenge. I completed the course. I got so much of a learning from the college. What I am, what I am molded into right now is all because of the college, the
Fantastic.
discipline and the grooming that happens. Uh, there was a workshop hosted in the college from Venkatesh sir.
Right.
So from that we got a lot of learning, like what are the shortfalls you might face, or what are
Right.
the things that you have to take care of when you start your own business. And
Right.
also we had these events that kept coming up, like we have to give our own creations in the events. So that also
Right.
helped us learn about management, about creating new dishes, what are the mistakes that can happen, and how
Absolutely.
to showcase your products. So there was a
Very,
lot of learning from my college days.
very good. Very good. And Ray, what do you feel?
Oh, college days were amazing. See, one was just joining college and having a 10-year gap between my counterparts were like, oh, how's that going to work out?
Right. Right.
I'm going to look like an old guy or something. But I blended in. You all were there to help me.
Absolutely.
We had good fun, a lot of learning, a lot of events which really helped. And I really want to specify that the events, there were so many events. It was more like an event college than a hospitality college. In a way,
Right.
it was very good
Very true.
because these are the small details. If you actually pay attention to when these events are on, and if whichever department you're in, and if you just learn a little from there, whenever you're doing your own business or when you start working in a hotel or somewhere, you can always relate to that back again. And
Very
that
true.
will always help you. You'll have that edge from another college student.
Very true. Very true. Fantastic. Talking about the events, like Ray was saying, that we have so many events. Right from the very first year when you host your tea event to the second year where we have stalls, the actual entrepreneurship actually was put to the test when you had the stalls where you are supposed to sell. And
Yeah.
I have seen students, you know, who not only sell in their stalls, but they go a step further. They take a tray and they go down to the other buildings which are there in our college and try to sell their products. Instead of the guests coming down to the stall, you are actually reaching with your products to them. Again, small things, but these are the entrepreneur skills that you actually develop when you're in the college. You go down to the third year, you have another few events, and then into a mega event, which is your spectrum. For each and every event, there's a lot of work. And like Ray said, each and every department holds equal importance. So there's no department which you can say is less than the other. Each and every department has got immense value. And the key is for you to absorb each and everything so that in the future you can then put to use. And like what Ray has said, I have had when students have told me that when they go for the briefing in the hotel, especially when they join in new and they have a whole load of new joinees from various different hotels, the Don Bosco student actually feels very good because he stands out over there. When the manager says, we are going to be doing this, does anyone know? And I can bet that 95% of the Don Bosco students will raise their hand and say, oh, been there, done this before, tell me something new. What am I coming here for? So that kind of a thing. It's so great because these are the actual things that happen in the industry. And we are at the forefront, and we have to be extremely thankful of Annabelle ma'am because she comes out with wonderful ideas. Just to give you a small hint, we finished Spectrum, and we have finished. The cleaning is still going on. It's night 1:30 on the day of the Spectrum itself, yeah? And Animal ma'am will say, okay, for next year's Spectrum, what do we start doing? And that's how it starts. So it's a continuous cycle. There's no break, but that's what keeps us going. Every time we need to come out with something that knocks the socks off everyone's eyes. It's something great. Okay. Vivian just mentioned about the entrepreneur workshop, and Gladstone was not there during those times when we used to have that. But then Vivian, Ray, and all have gone through this entrepreneur workshop by a gentleman called Mr. Venkatesh and his wife, who come and who give a workshop for all the students, okay, highlighting how to go about starting your own venture. And in in-depth detail, they go into what are the things that you need to do. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that the students learn from there, which they can then implement it onto their own venture. So this is something that the Don Bosco College does extra. Okay, it's not a part of the curriculum which is there, which is laid down by the university or anything like that. This is something that we do purely because we want to empower our students with much more than just the theory that we are teaching of what the university. That, yes, takes its own due course. We need to do all that. But in addition to that, we also do the English course purely so that the people can be well versed with their communication skills and which helps in their future. So these are things that the Don Bosco College always does extra, and which immensely helps the students. Okay. Now, Gladstone, a question to you. How easy it is to set up a business in Mumbai? You don't have to go into political this thing and all that, but generally.
It is easy and it is tough also. It is tough when you don't have proper resources.
Okay.
And you want to do something. So give it a time. It will happen one day if it has to happen. But if you have the resources, give it a shot. Just believe in your product. If you think your product is very good,
right.
Okay, talk to people. Talk to your known people.
Okay.
Okay, because they're the right people who will tell you, okay, this is right, this is wrong, or whatever. So yeah, if you have your right resources and you think your product is very good, you will stand out in the market. Definitely, it is easy.
Very nice.
And once you have to be there in the market for at least 2 years.
Right. And how easy it is? Well, let's say from the government's point of view, licenses and the works and all that.
It is pretty easy, sir. See, if you have a structure, if you have a physical structure, like a restaurant, you want to hire a place.
Okay.
Then no one is going to trouble you because you have your licenses in place.
Okay. And it's
so some places will not have a fire exit.
Yeah, and it's relatively easy.
It is very easy. It is very easy.
Okay.
Yeah, unless and until there is no illegal construction in your place,
okay,
it is very easy.
Okay.
Licensing are easy to do. You have some agents who do it for you.
Okay.
But the officers in charge come to your place for a site visit. Now, after there was this incident, fire incident, some restaurant at Lower Parel.
Right.
After that, fire license is mandatory. Without fire license, you won't get any other license. You won't be able to operate a restaurant.
Okay.
And for that, you need a gas pipeline, proper gas pipeline layout. You can't use LPG cylinders. You have to have a fire exit. That is mandatory for now.
Right.
It is good for you because even you're being a part of that place, you're going to stand there and take charge of your operations. Absolutely. Your safety is more important.
Very true.
Yeah, if you want to continue in the long run. Yeah. Right. But in some places have limitations. They don't have fire exit. Like
Okay.
if you go to rent a place now, if it is meant to be a restaurant, you will have all the provisions done. But if it's a normal place and you like the place, then you can always opt for electrical appliances where you can cook your food, which
Okay.
is also very feasible.
Okay.
It doesn't cost much. Your equipment initially will cost you much, but since it's your passion, you should give it a shot.
Okay. And you said that at least you need to be there in the business for at least 2 years to really
For
get the
2 years, for
market.
2 years. Because see, you should people think that okay, I open a restaurant, I get rich. Never open a restaurant to get rich.
Okay.
That time will come. That time will come.
Right.
So first year you only focus on your product, on your
Right.
service, and focus on getting repeat guests to your outlet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People spend lakhs of rupees on marketing, that won't help. The best
Okay.
marketing is word of mouth.
Absolutely. Right.
So
So
you
let
give
your
discounts, give them a complimentary dessert, let them come back. Because you,
okay.
and in India, it's like discount and what do you get free? That
Okay.
is the mindset. So when you give a
Alright.
discount or you give a tiramisu complimentary on a higher bill value, the recall value, your brand
Right.
value automatically comes. You order Chinese, okay, last time I got from Shaolin Express a tiramisu, I'll order from there. That won't
Abs-
cost you much. That marketing cost you just in your food cost. So the guest will make
Very
sure the
true.
guest comes back to you. So you
Very true.
open a
Very true.
restaurant with no regular customers or no regular guests, there's no point. You won't last for a year also because the rent factor is high, your staffing is high. So you have to be competitive in the market.
I know. And you said it so right. You know, it is the recall value of the restaurant. I still remember we had been to a
Absolutely,
restaurant
absolutely.
and we got a piece of plastic in our food. You know, it was a disaster. But immediately the
That happens.
restaurant guys just covered it up. They got one huge big cake, you know, one apology written on top of it, piped and all that. Extremely, the manager was literally bowing in front of us, you know, all that. And mind you, even 2 years later, my kids just talk only about that cake that they got. You know, the entire
Okay.
other
Yeah,
incident
yeah.
is forgotten. It's only that, oh, they gave us a beautiful big cake, you know, and that is what it is. That was one of my questions as to how, because I firmly believe that if you have a guest who is not satisfied, that is your ticket to make him into a regular customer. You know, uh,
Absolutely.
how do you feel about this, Vivian? If you have a guest who is not satisfied, what do you do to get him back? You know,
First of all, we should not argue with the customer and listen to his query or problem that he's having and
very
try to
true.
understand from where he's coming. If
Right.
it's a mistake from your end, you try to apologize to the customer, refund amount that you can refund from your end, give
Mm-hmm.
an extra dessert or some product that you can give them extra, and
Right.
assure them that the next service that they will get from your end would be better.
Absolute. Very good. Very good. Ray, what do you do? I'm sure when you have delivered, there might have been someone who might have said, "Arey yaar, it didn't reach the expectations." I don't know. I hope so. It hasn't happened.
No, no,
But if it
it hasn't
happens,
happened. But if it happens, see, you apologize, you try and understand their point of view,
right.
and try and make something. If they can, they are willing to come back to you, then
Mm-hmm.
you can make something better. And at that time, you surprise them with something additional. So they are not expecting it. Well, I
Right.
have a little different point of view. Not just give something free on that part, but at the
Okay.
next time, you give something where they're not expecting it at all.
Absolutely.
So that will
Right.
give them some a surprise effect. So
Yeah. And like my kids, yeah, they'll remember only that. Yeah. Absolutely. Uh, Coming down to you guys, what do you think are the ground realities of handling your own business? How easy it is in the current situation? Ray, you can also start.
well, this is not such a big business as compared to Mr. Gladson's doing over there, but there are a few challenges because we are relying on customers. So
Okay.
we are relying on orders. If orders don't come, we are not busy. So
Right.
that part of that marketing, that advertising, that oh will I get an order tomorrow? Will I get an order day after? All that small nitty gritty stuff that we have to keep doing and keep showing and showcasing people that we are doing different things every time and not just doing a single dish every time.
Right, right.
Doing
So
something
you need to constantly evolve and to change just so that you are fresh in the
be a
minds of the
little
people.
innovative,
Absolutely,
keep doing
absolutely.
things different, keep people's minds thinking like, oh, this guy's doing this, maybe he can do that. Then they can ask for something different as well,
Right.
not just what is on the menu. Because there's so many options right now. So why would they come back to you? That is
Very
the
true.
main question and main reason why you need to be in that business, so that they come back to you for that one reason or many reasons
Very true.
in
Very true.
that matter.
Gladstone,
Yes, sir.
so what do you feel?
Hello. Yeah.
Even you agreed to the constant changes and we need to adapt. I'm sure you just said that you offered a 1+1 pizza free. That was more on the need of the hour, right? So you need to adapt to all those changes and you need to constantly evolve.
Yes, because this year is only about sustaining.
Right,
If you can't manage to sustain, then you won't last. Because now what happens is your bills will keep on piling up. Okay,
right,
you have a flat month, you'll have a flat 2 months, you'll have a flat third month. But again, suppose your operating cost is 1.5 or 2 lakhs. So 1 month, okay, you put it from your pocket. But this will go on increasing. And then once you get operational, and when you start making money, you'll need at least 6 months to cover these losses.
absolutely. Right.
So work on minimal profits.
Okay.
Like we introduced a menu for 99. You take any, we made a menu short at the initial stage. We were offering fried rices, Thai rice, lollipops, and chili chicken, all the top selling items for 99 rupees,
Okay. All right.
just for 99. And then that created a huge, what do you say? Uh,
Demand.
it spread like fire. This news like 99, the restaurant is served, because right now in today's market, no one is willing to give you a Chinese dish for below 149 or 150. So when you see
Absolutely.
a premium restaurant giving you an offer, automatically your phone will start ringing.
Okay.
And then you don't feel shy. You put up a banner. Don't think that, okay, I'm a big restaurant guy, I'll not put a banner. Put a banner. Be informative.
Okay.
So when people are passing, even if they don't want to eat something, they see this 99, they'll make sure they come back.
Right. Right.
So right now it's only about sustaining. What,
Okay.
as Ray said, that Zomato charges you a cut of say 22% plus taxes, that comes up to 28%. Fair enough. So what happens with Zomato is they give you the order. Okay. They deliver the order in 5 kilometer radius. Okay. They have their own logistics. So you just have to have a system in a restaurant. Your order will ring. You make the order ready, and your work is done. Your Zomato will take care of it thereafter.
Very true.
So
Right.
yeah, now see, if you have your own logistics, okay, you'll have to buy a bike. Like you have to hire 2 delivery guys.
Right.
Okay, maintenance, that's a depreciating asset, the bike.
Absolutely.
Petrol, and you never know the guy is going to come back on time.
Right.
You'll waste time. So now, if I have to send a guy like 5 kilo for say to Powai, now till he goes there and comes back, it will be an art.
Right. Right.
Plus something happens to him while delivering, he falls, he has an accident. Again, that is a huge overhead.
Right.
So yeah, Zomato is it's a game changer for all the restaurants. Like if you're a cloud kitchen or if your restaurant is not doing that great, then you should have Zomato and run discounts on that with limited staff. So if you are high on staff, cut down staff and just focus on online orders for this period, I'm saying.
Right.
But then
Right.
once the things are normal, then you do what you're doing. But now you have to be different.
Very true. And this is a key point that we need to be taking, that we need to be keeping on adapting to what the current situation is. Each and every
Absolutely.
situation changes. We also need to do the appropriate change, because we can't have just one rigid rule to follow. Fantastic. Vivin, what did you face any kind of mistakes during your venture, and you wish, oh shit, I should not have done this?
Mistakes, I would take it as like should have started the venture online much more earlier,
Okay.
because it is giving us much more accessibility to people that we couldn't reach out to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would consider as a mistake. And besides that, I don't feel any other shortfalls I have faced.
Okay. How about you, Gladson, with your so many different businesses? I'm sure you spoke about the Tibetan thing, which says that quite a few items
Yes,
you
yes,
had to knock off because of this particular
correct.
reason. Yeah. But any other venture which you felt that I should not have wasted time on this?
No, I regret not starting
Oh,
Indian, North Indian cuisine. Because the demand is always high for that. People are never bored of that.
okay.
Okay, and there were restaurants I had opportunity to take over and I couldn't.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's this recent place that shut down in Chandivli. It's called Old Monk.
Uh-huh.
So doing again Chinese. So I bought their logistics. They shut down.
Okay.
So the logistics will be delivered from my restaurant as well. That is live, but it will start getting orders next week.
Okay.
So that's a recent venture that we have done. So
Okay.
people who are giving up, they will negotiate and take it because the name is very catchy. Old Monk.
All right. Yes, very true.
Yeah, again Chinese. In that you can again add Indian. You can
Our favorite.
add
Our favorite.
starters.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And
Right.
like there's this place in Bandra, close to Andrews College, which is going on trend. I was looking for a partnership, but that didn't happen. To start with, Old Monk's Walk. This was the
Okay.
name decided. So
Uh-huh.
any ideas that come up, I just take down a pen and keep on jotting down points and what I want to do. And then I see if things are feasible, we go ahead with it. Because your mother, the main kitchen is running, it's doing well, it's established, then you have to do something else. Because if you know that if you're going to be here in this outlet, it's going to make the same business, same quality, and same sales. So why not venture in use that time to venture into something else?
Very true.
And I was always very passionate of opening up a dine-out restaurant
Uh-huh.
where families come in, friends come in, you know, and yeah, having a get together and then yeah, enjoying your food. Service is going smoothly. You have waiting outside. So I was
Right.
always wanted to have a restaurant like that. But this year was very bad for every one of us. So uh, it's okay. So we'll try maybe in 2000, 2 years later, 2022 maybe. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So Ray, what kind of advice would you like to give our future entrepreneurs? A lot of them are just watching the show, and many of them would be having ideas of starting their own. So what advice would you give to all these
The things
lads?
what I learned is that don't go straight into, well, that's just my point of view. Don't
Okay.
go straight into a business. Try and work in a hotel or work for someone who's been there, done that. So if you're working in a hotel, you get to learn all the departments, you get to learn all the logistics, you get to learn how service works, how the kitchen runs
Mhm.
when it's a busy time, and hotels are really busy in December, January time. So you see that, you see how weddings are when there are big events, there are big
Yep.
functions. You see
Mhm.
all that. When you see all that, you get a big idea and a big perspective of, okay, if I do this, how will I be able to manage it? How will I be able to do it? Will I be able to do it?
Okay.
And then there's other thing is, oh, I can make so much money.
All right. The
That
bottom
is the,
line.
yeah. But it's always it's a very nice thing to work for yourself and not work for someone.
Right.
We as Catholics, we always get a little scared to not take a little risk. It's not in our blood, but if it's a well thought out plan, and I think it's really worth it to go through your own venture, to
Mhm.
start a own business.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Vivian, what do you think? What advice
I'd
would you
like
give?
to add to Ray's point where he said that you have to learn in a hotel. So I'll agree with that because I started off with a newly standalone restaurant in Bandra. So I got to learn more from there, like how everything is set up, what would be the cost, what are the shortfalls that happen, how marketing happens. There are a lot of things that I learned from there, which helped me in my current business.
Fantastic.
And even if you want to start a business, you should always take the risk because when you take the risk, you'll understand from those mistakes.
A very key word. You
Yeah. True.
taking risk. You know, Gladson, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, yeah, sir. if you want to progress, you have to take risk. Because what happens is some people, some entrepreneurs, they open an outlet. Okay, they're very satisfied with it. They don't want to change the menu, or they don't want to make a few changes according to the market.
Right.
For example, Tibetan did not work for me, so I made a change. Let's try something else.
Right.
So if your guest is confused about your menu, he'll remain confused forever.
Right.
Because
right.
you won't be able to convey how you can't call the guest and teach him about the menu.
Right.
So again, that is a risk to change your menu. New outlet and changing the menu, it's a very big risk.
Okay.
But then again, that period will also face, okay, when you start putting out better dishes out.
Right.
Okay, promote those dishes. Like you train your staff, your waiters or your captains, like sell these dishes. So your meetup and the kitchen is also getting ready for those dishes. The service is faster.
Right.
Yeah, so risk, I would say take a risk where you will know how to come out of it. Don't take a bigger risk where you go into it and you can't come out of it. Then
Right.
that's the end of the story.
Very true.
A
So
minimal
take
risk,
calculated. Yes.
minimal, very calculative risk.
Very true. Very true. Excellent. What kind of qualities do you look? And Gladstone, again, I'll ask you itself because you have a couple of outlets. What are the qualities that you're looking out in your stuff so that they can fit into your culture? So let's say, for example, you're coming to college and you're coming for recruiting. What are you looking in our students?
Again, we are always taught to smile. No matter what happens, smile. Okay, you need fun-loving people in this industry. You can't have somebody serious serving you, like with a serious
Right.
face. Okay. So if you want to be a bouncer or a security person or something to do with must, you can be that serious. But then again, you
Right.
need fun-loving people who love their job. If you don't love your job, you're there to just pass your 9 hours, then that won't happen. You
Very
want
true.
now. When I remember me, Jyoti, Rainil, and Sharon, we were sent to Taj London for our internship.
All right.
So Elanka Mama approached me, Gaston, will you go? And I was like shocked because I was not that serious during studies. But I was very spontaneous and very good at playing mischief, talking to people. So would you want to go? I'm like, yeah, we'll go.
Right.
So they gave us a formal letter, and then suddenly I'm with this food and all. We had this tea break, and I was standing there looking around, and suddenly a guy who's come for interview asked me, "Sir, can I go to the washroom?" So I said, "Yes, sir, you can go, but even I'm come for interview." And then I went and told Rainer and Jyoti, "I'm selected, boss. I'm selected. I'm looking damn smart." And we all 5 got selected.
Wow. I know those are good old days.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
appearance. See, you are there to learn. Industrial training is to learn, but your appearance is very much important.
Right.
And mannerism, a very basic thing you should have
Okay.
in any field, not only hospitality. The way you talk, the way
Right.
you behave, that is more important. Then you can train and you can do whatever. But if your attitude is not right, then
Right.
nothing is going to happen. Because there are some chefs, when we hire them, they are so grumpy. Okay, I'm a chef, and then when we tell them to change their menu a little bit or our menu a little bit, no, I've been doing this, I'll do this. So that is
Right.
not accepted at all. Because at the end of
Okay.
the day, it's your money on the line.
Very true. Okay.
Yeah.
So from our students, you're basically looking at someone who is vivacious, who wants to enjoy life, who is up for learning, who is open to learning, and who have their basics right. Technically, these are
Yes,
the
because
qualities.
again, first year students now, they don't know what this industry is about. If their parents or uncles have been working, they would learn bits and pieces. Like my father was working for Royal Caribbean cruise liner, so I knew bits and pieces. Okay, a ship, how does it look, how the operations are, but not on ground.
Right. Right.
Okay, videos, photos. Oh wow, I went to this place, I went to that place. But when a student joins hotel industry, like 5% of them don't make it to the first year. After the first year, they go to some other stream because
Right.
they understand that is not for them. That is a crucial point. You decide in the first year only. Okay, if it is not for you, don't force yourself because that won't take you anywhere.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So your industrial training will teach you everything, and then that's a deciding point. Decide early. It's fine, no problem. You make mistakes at the initial stage. Don't wait when it's too late.
Very true.
So if
Absolutely.
you like working long hours, see Saturday, Sunday, you will not get chutti, no chutti, because that is the main business day.
Right. Right.
And if you think you're going to do 9 to 6 job or a 9 hour shift, that is never going to happen. If you're in banquets, banquet makes the most money and in room dining, I mean the rooms. But if you think that you're going to have Saturday, Sunday week off, 9 hour shift, then that is not going to happen. You have to be there to make your guests happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely true.
Yeah. So they have this correct mindset that I'm there for my passion. If there is no passion, then don't do it.
Right. Very, very nicely said. Ray, what qualities are you looking out when you expand your business?
Add on to what Gladstone was saying, like I was very fortunate when I was working at Sofitel that I got Sundays off. For most of it, I got
So
Sundays off. My
lucky,
team, I had a
never
very good
happened.
team.
I know. One of the lucky blokes.
Business off,
Lucky,
Easter
lucky.
off. Only New Year's I work.
Okay.
So it depends on your team. Like if you have a good team and they understand you, so you what do you say? You figure it out with your team. You give them one Sunday off. You take one Sunday off, because see, everybody has a family. You need some family time as well. And we
Right.
were lucky. We used to work hardly 9-10 hours maximum. No
Right.
pushing it further than that. And me
But From
personally, I
from a
know
student's point of view, what will you be looking?
student point of view.
What qualities should our students have?
See, they don't need to know everything because you're always learning.
Very good.
Don't stress about, oh, I need to know everything. Honestly,
Right.
when I went for interviews, I do not know half the things. But you have to be confident. When you're confident, when you're talking, before you answer the thing, only that guy has already made up his mind whether he wants you or he doesn't want you
Very
in
true.
the first
Very
5-10 minutes of your interview.
Absolutely.
So, and if you don't know something, admit it. I don't know. I'm sorry. Can I get back to you? That's what we've been taught in Don Bosco's.
Absolutely.
We'll look it up if we don't know, and we'll get back to them.
Very true.
Someone who's jubilant, happy, energetic. Yeah, just
Chilled
those
out.
things, and always wanting to learn. If you're learning, and if someone comes, if I do get a chance to open my restaurant, I don't want anybody to work more than 9 hours, or
Oh,
maybe less. Yeah,
okay.
I don't like that concept in hospitality that you need to work 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. I just don't like that.
Okay.
I don't think that if you have a set of tasks and you should complete it.
Very true.
And obviously you don't give a person the set of tasks which is going to take 20 hours and say, oh, but you can you try and complete it in 8 hours. It's not possible.
Very true.
You
Very
have to
true.
be realistic and understand the other thing is other persons when they're working as well.
Very
So
true.
for me personally, that's just my point of view, that I don't like that people are working 10-12 hours, because
Right.
they're working 12 hours, they're traveling for 2 hours, they're not getting enough rest. Means
Right.
if they're not getting enough rest, they're not happy. If they're not happy, they don't want to come to work with a positive point of view. If they're
Absolutely.
not positive, they're not going to be happy when they're serving the guest.
Absolutely.
And if that happens, the guest is not happy over there, so he's not going to come back.
It's a continuous vicious cycle, right?
Yeah.
You know, you need to take care of everyone so that they take care of you.
Yeah, I know it's
Absolutely.
business, it's important, people need to do their job, but I just have a different point of view and perspective of that. So maybe I might be wrong, I might be correct, but that's my point of view.
No, I do agree to a large extent of what you are saying actually. And please, all the students note down, this is Ray, get his number and all that.
Yeah,
Because,
you can always.
yeah.
You
If
can
you want to
always
join him, yeah, you're not going to be working more than 9 hours. What about you, Vivin? What will you look out for your staff?
My understanding is that you should have gratitude and the right set of attitude and values. That's the most important. Skill sets can always be learned because you're always learning. There's
Very good.
nothing that you pre-learn and you come into this world. So you have to keep evolving and learning.
Very nice.
As far as the hours are concerned, I would not like anyone work for long hours because as my personal experiences, I work for long hours and it affected my health. So I wouldn't want that on someone else. So
Right.
manage your time, and if we manage the work, it can be done in shorter hours. So I would want that for my staff as well.
Excellent. Excellent. So what I can see is that we have got a whole bunch of entrepreneurs who are not only working towards their own business goals of achieving them, but then also doing it with a lot of empathy towards their employees because they understand the value of taking care of their employees, and what it takes to keep them happy. And I certainly agree with Ray. If you keep your staff happy, the staff keeps the guest happy, the guest brings you a lot of money, and ultimately you are happy as a owner when you get a lot of money. But this cycle also reverses. You do not take care of your staff, the staff do not take care of your guests, the guests do not give you the patronage, and the owner is unhappy because he does not have the business. Okay, so fantastic. Just one last question I would like to ask. Whenever we want to start a business, there are a lot of people who will try to dissuade you. How do you handle that? A lot of them who will say, "Arey yaar, what's wrong with you? Please go and join a hotel, steady job, steady income coming in. Why you want to get into a business, etc." Did you guys face a similar kind of a situation? And if so, how did you tackle that? Let's start with anyone. Ray.
I didn't face that issue, but if someone were to tell me that, see, if you're going to plan to have a business or start a venture, you've already given it a good thought. You've spoken to a lot of people. You've
Right.
done your research. You've definitely spoken to your family and friends as well. So
Absolutely.
if someone were to tell me that, I would tell them that I've done my research. I agree to what you're saying. Yes, it's risky. Every business is risky. But if I don't take that
Right.
risk, I'll never reach there. I'll never go to my aim and my goal. So
Absolutely.
I understand where you're coming from, but I would like to go ahead with whatever I have planned.
Very good. Very good. How about you, Gladstone?
Initially, yes, sir. Yeah, as we are Catholics, we don't enter easily into ventures, business. We have this thing of, you go to your work, go to your office, get a fixed salary, stable. Uh, but again, the risk factor. This is the reason why we are not allowed, no for a business. But then I had this thing in mind that again, resources. We have resources. Why not utilize it?
Very true. Very good. Vivian?
I feel that
First,
people always
Just one sec, Vivian. Yeah, Gladstone.
yeah, first 6 months will always be rocky because you don't know it's going to work or no. And
Right,
then
right.
that really makes you very nervous. And then when you're nervous, automatically your business suffers. So just
Okay.
keep a cool mind. New entrepreneurs, new students who want to get into venture, give yourself 1 month, 1 year time. Okay. If you
Okay.
can't do something in 1 year, another 3 months or 4 months, don't give up easily.
Okay.
Because then
Right.
when you give up in the first year, then you will never be up, you'll never take that risk. Then you'll go to a job and then you'll do that same thing entire life.
Absolutely.
So don't give up.
Absolutely.
If you think really it's not doing well for that time, okay, then you take a break, do your normal thing, what you are told to do, but don't kill your passion. Keep your passion alive,
Very good.
and one
Very
day
good.
it will happen.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Yes, Vivian. Sorry.
as I was saying that people will always have opinions, whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing. If you follow those opinions, you will reach nowhere. If you have a goal set in your mind, you set targets to achieve it and be determined to achieve that goal. If you are focused on your goals, you'll achieve it. People will always say, you need to do this, you need to do that. If you follow their opinions, you're not going to go anywhere. And I
Very.
have this saying that I follow that my friend said that the day you can't face yourself in the mirror, you'll know you're wrong. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. So you should follow your goals, your dreams, and not listen to what others have to say.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Oh, it was so great talking to you guys. I would like to open the code to all the students. And if anybody has any questions to ask our three esteemed guys, they will be more than happy to answer your queries.
So I'm just going to
Yes,
ask
Joel. Yes, ma'am.
just a question before we get to the students. And we also have a lady named Christina Mascarenas who would like to come on. So we can ask her to come on too. you know, the golden, if you Google the percentages, your food cost is supposed to be between 25 and 35. Yeah, all your other expenses add up to about 50 to 70. Is that working here in India? Does that work here for you all? Or are there other expenses that come into play, like somebody who has to be paid for a certain license?
Under the table.
Yeah, or the local mafia that would like a part of your profits. Does that still come into play? I will start off with Gladstone because you had a live open, you know, the restaurant part
Yes,
of it before
food
COVID.
cost is very critical in this industry. You have to manage
Right.
your food cost, and then to keep it down, I used to do my purchases on my own. I
Right.
used to go to the other market, okay, for exotics like broccoli, zucchini, Chinese
Right.
cabbage, bok choy.
Right.
You get it at a very minimal price.
Okay.
So my food cost, I would say, is like for me 27 to 28% is fine. With wastage,
Fantastic.
it goes up to 32%.
Okay.
Yeah, that is
Fantastic.
there. So if you manage your vendors right and you keep your food cost tight, then you're good
Right.
to go. But then if it's some restaurant 40%, which is
Right.
very bad.
Right. So
Mostly it's all
so have you had problems with people who are coming to with their handout?
no, nothing as such.
That has not yet happened.
That will
Excellent.
happen only if you enclose your area. Okay,
Okay.
if you do something illegal, if you build an illegal tent outside, then they
Right.
will trouble you. But if you are proper on paper, you're doing the
Right.
right thing, then there's no issue.
Fantastic. Fantastic to know. Okay, Joel, go ahead, Joel.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is, can you give some tips to minimize food wastage in the early stages of startup?
Uh,
Anyone can answer, actually. Well, all three of them are in their own respective startups. So, what do you feel?
So as I feel from my experience, if you plan your menu and you know how much your customer is going to order, or you know how much is going to go in a day, so then
Mhm.
you can plan your menu and you can create and prepare only that much portions so that it doesn't get wasted. Also, if you are doing preparations, you can freeze your items or make products that have longer shelf life, which have less shelf life. You create lesser portions to avoid the wastage.
Very good.
Okay. And my last question to everyone is, especially in monsoon season, how to deal with the lack of availability of exotic raw materials as well as ingredients?
For that, it depends. If in rainy season, normally we in hotels, what we used to do, even at home, what I do is there are you get a lot of worms in the leafy vegetables. So
Correct.
you have to tweak your menu a little bit, so that you don't face that problem, because you might get those ingredients, but by mistake, if one worm goes to a customer, you've lost that customer. It's better to not put that on your menu than to have that and have face problems later on. So you tweak your menu according to the availability of the ingredients.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm done, ma'am.
Right.
Miss Christina, are you there? There. Okay.
I can't seem to start up my video, but I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've done it. I'm a Salesian educator, and to the students who are in the webinar, I'll only introduce myself to this extent and say that I'm Ray's first cousin. But that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. As a Salesian educator, the faculty over here and I belong to the same mindset. What came very strongly from Ray and other participants at this webinar and the previous one that he spoke at is the talk about Don Bosco's being an event place. You wonder whether there's any education happening at all. It just seems like it's only events. Well, my dear students, you can get an education anywhere. You cannot be taught to handle an event anywhere. And that's a Salesian education for you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ah, Ronald, that's a Salesian education for you. That's why you're in Don Bosco's. Don't ever forget that. Because you could have been in Dada Catering, you could have been in HAF, you could have been in Aurangabad. But then what you get in a Salesian institute cannot be got anywhere. You will learn life here, and you're so privileged. You're so privileged. So, I mean, hats off to the education that we all are providing. I'm a Salesian educator too. So, and our school, if you look at our handbook, it's only events. It's only events. And you'll ask, are they studying at all? Well, they're studying life. They're studying life. And congratulations for the great job. And students of Don Bosco College, you're privileged. Annabelle, thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak to them.
Thank you so much. My goodness, I'm actually lost for words. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. You know, I just want to repeat when we say this event, my whole bent for creating all these events was, and I love to see the fruition with the three of you and the whole gamut of students that have turned into, you know, into entrepreneurs. That was always my game. I wanted everyone to have this mindset because there's a liberation in having your own business, and we need that in our economy in India. We need to have self-driven people, and I'm so happy that it converted. You know, I would love to say that we need to do more as far as debriefing with the event so that you learn a lot more, because otherwise what happens is the ones who put themselves in the fray actually learn and the others are just sitting on the sidelines. So to get everybody involved. I think we have one more. Roshan, go ahead with your question, Roshan.
Good afternoon to everyone. Okay, so my question is that, let's say we start up a business. Like, as we are new in this business, how do you find employment opportunities in your future? I mean, like, since it's just new created, most of the people who come for employment must be like beginners. So how do you manage to keep up with
Okay, if I understood his question right, was the caliber of people when you're starting out. How do you train them? Right, Roshan?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay. Because obviously when you're starting out, if you yourself are doing most of it, and then the people who you're getting are not trained people. You're just getting warm bodies who you are training. Gladstone, did you get in trained chefs, or did you get in people who had worked for a while?
No, but when your business is new, the advice is always you get professionals on board.
Huh.
Okay, you
Good.
get professionals on board because your first shot is your last shot.
Okay.
When it comes to food, okay, you don't like food, you'll never go back to the place. Okay, clothes, different segment is a different
Right.
mindset for our customers. But as a guest, if you don't like the food, you'll never go back there.
Right.
Okay, and then you'll tell 10 people, okay, 10 guests, okay, it's not good. So even if those 10 potential customers have not tried your dish, they'll automatically not order from me.
Right.
So for the first 6 months, you hire professionals, see how they work. Okay, and then to get your costs down, your labor costs down, you hire 2 people to train, to get them trained. Let them train under these 2 chefs.
Right.
Okay, so once they have that same skills and you know that food is tasting almost the same, then you can start cutting down, you know, and then on staff, and then you can reduce your food cost a bit low.
Okay.
But first 6 months, you have to have professional on board.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Another question to ask you is,
when this will get over?
Very soon, Ronit.
Very soon. Gladstone, do you feel that you are in touch with every single aspect of your business? There's nothing that you can literally leave to anybody if you want to be successful?
As I said, now first you have to get in your time. For first
Right.
year, you have to be on ground.
Yes.
Okay. And then you start monitoring.
Okay.
If I'm here, what is the response? If I'm not there, is there a depletion of sales? Are there any
Okay.
main thing? Are there any customer? Are there any guest complaints?
Okay.
That is the main factor. Okay,
Okay.
but so first year you have to be on property, looking after
Okay.
your. Okay, then you'll have an idea about your sales. Okay, if I make an
Okay.
X amount of sales, I require this amount of raw materials.
Right.
Okay, and then 2 or 3 months you let loose. Watch on
Okay.
your cameras, how
Right.
it's going. But then if you see a rise is always accepted. But if there's a
Right.
fall,
Yeah.
then you have to be again very careful. And then you have to have somebody you know in this industry
Okay.
if you want to go further.
Right.
To take care
Wonderful.
of that place. Yeah.
Excellent.
Wonderful. So, we, as that little boy asked, or I don't know who that was who asked whether it's getting over. On behalf of everyone at Don Bosco, Nixon sir, the entire webinar team that runs this on the back end, Chef Melroy, who has now become our IT person, along with Justin and Raul, and Andre sir, Roma ma'am, Prasad chef, and Susan ma'am. Thank you for making sure that Ray and Gladstone and Vivian are here. We're so sorry we missed Gilton. I'm sure, you know, he's also upset that he could not join. I just wanted to take away from all of this a few things. One is, I think Ray downplayed the tenacity that he has come back to life with. I
Right.
visited Ray, to be honest, Ray, I could only visit you once, and that is because I just could not stomach the amount of pain that you were going through. I just could not handle it. So we just prayed for you because it was impossible to watch. It was a very difficult and dark time. I was hoping, really hoping that Ray would get better and come and teach in Don Bosco. But even traveling to and from would have been really difficult. I'm so and absolutely glad that you have found yourself, the business has found you. There was to me, when you asked me and said, ma'am, I'm thinking of doing this, I never for a minute thought that you would not succeed, because I've seen your track record and I'm so happy that it has fulfilled itself. You know, you also have, I think all three of you have a tremendous support system, which is extremely important to identify. You all have parents who are with you all, and without them, really, that sense of security, you cannot find your footing. And all three of you have that. And I think that's what kind of also drives you, besides your own self-driven, you know, tenacity. From what I gathered from all three of you, which I absolutely love, is that we're going through a horrible time. Most people look at it as it is a dark time. You have found the light in the dark. You
Right.
have turned this into a challenge. You have turned this into an opportunity. And you have met this challenge and said, you know what? We are going to be the ones who are going to rise up. And how? And I'm so proud of all three of you. You know, when we come into the class and crib and take spectrum fines for grooming, I hope all the present second and third years who have felt this are listening and realize that all three of them have said this continuously. Grooming and the way you handle yourself, your smile, your ability to adapt makes a big difference. The most important thing is that you all have understood the Indian market. I love when Gladson says they're looking out for discounts and they're looking out for something free. I love that you have tapped in on that, and you know, it's working. It whatever works within the environment that you're, you know, you have created your market. I love to see that you're thriving in it. Vivian, I wish you all the very best. I know that you're keeping both fires stoked. It's great to have a second hustle, and please pace yourself. But congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
To Ray, keep at it, because I know that one day we'll be having you on too, like Gladstone, with not only your present market, but in your outlet. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of time. Gladstone, you're going to corner the entire Mumbai market from the rate you're going. And kudos to you. But always remember, come back and hire the non-Bosco students. All right? I mean, I am beyond proud of you. I don't know if you remember this conversation I was meant to have with you, because I got admonished by the Taj people. But I kept saying, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Because Gladstone not only had put on that suit, he was manager in the Taj. I don't know whether you remember that. There was some issue. But, you know, the way you have groomed yourself and your life, it is just an absolute joy to watch. And I am so glad that we have had this opportunity to have this webinar, because you guys are so busy, we otherwise don't get to see you. So this is another joy of the pandemic. We get to see you all at least on the webinars.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true.
We wish you all the very best, all three of you. Thank you, Nixon sir, for this, for making sure that it is run well. Thank you. And with that, I will sign off. We wish you a wonderful evening, great things in the future. Keep making us proud, keep succeeding. That's all we keep asking. Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Gladstone.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to hear all your wonderful stories, you know. So everyone, stay safe, take care. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.